So this is one of those walking home videos. It's nearly midnight and it's on August the 9th, Saturday. And I'm noticing that even a Saturday night, this is the weekend that Oasis are playing. This is their second night, and some people are saying there were more people in the city today, but it's certainly quieter now than I remember a couple of years ago. And it's just a very quick reminder video. We're running a workshop next week, I think it's next Tuesday. All the information will be on fringereview.com. There's lots of bright light behind me here. And then there'll be one a bit later in the week. The first one is ready for shows that are arriving in week 2, but also shows that have been in here during week 1, and what you can do to continue to build on ticket sales or get those pre-sales from literally now and get those reviews built upon if you already had some, or get some going right now. And it's around, I think, some practical things you can do that I've kind of mentioned a bit before, but I'm going to just share them a bit differently, which are around, just crossing the road here, which are all around refreshing and renewing. So if you've sent a press release out, it's time to make a new one, and particularly if you've got some really interesting images from Edinburgh from in your venue, and they can be done professionally. This is where you start to share the story of how the show has landed if you've already been here, but also if you've been sending out press releases in advance of your week 2 arrival, they're already going to be either read or ignored. It depends who the media are, but on the assumption they've seen them, people tend to forget them. They become history very quickly. So just change some of the wording, building the story of your arrival when you're starting. Any news stories that are much more recent than if you'd sent something a month or 2 ago or a week ago. It's all right to contact the media again. It's all right to refresh. It's all right to renew, also on your social media too. So what's happened in the last few days that you could share? When you were arriving, just put it back on the map. If you've been doing some previews, what reviews did you get? If you come from Edinburgh Fringe or just a local performance just to bed your show in, let's have some images from that. Let's have some audience feedback from where you've just come from. So hit the ground running, but also your shows now may well, if you're playing here, already have audience feedback and other reviews too. Just get it all up to date, get it all refreshed, make a new TikTok video, make a new Instagram reel, and just keep it fresh, keep it coming. New reviewers also arrived this week to pick up brand new shows, or you may not have got a review, but in the energy of new shows arriving. And there are certainly press events happening. For example, at the Space, this Sunday night there's going to be a media event where the shows arriving in that venue can pitch to us. I think other venues do that too. So this is a really good opportunity over this weekend and going into next week. Certainly come to our first workshop, which is all about kind of building on what you've already done, whether you're a new show arriving or you've already been here for a while. That's also simply about looking at what your tweets have been or your X's, and just adding new content and renewing it. And I think if you've struggled to get reviews, audience quotes are absolutely fine. But it's a good time to do a photo shoot outside your venue. And if you've been here for a week, the media won't care about that. You just simply put the dates between now and the end of your run as if you've just arrived, and that creates that newness. And then we do a workshop a bit later in the week as well, and that's called Turning Around Disaster. And sadly, quite a few people that ought to be at that are still in denial. But that's where you've had no ticket sales, where your show might have gone into meltdown, where there might have been illness and one member of your cast has gone and you're having to re-rehearse, and you don't have any bookings, or you've got bad reviews or no reviews, and what can you do about that? And I would suggest that's particularly for shows in that situation, so not for shows that are just arriving optimistically. Come to the different ones, send members of your cast to each one if you want to. But most of all, it's about having a mindset of newness, of renewal, and the idea that tomorrow is a brand new page, and there isn't memory necessarily in the media to say, well, they've already been here for a week. Just say what your dates are. They're starting on the 11th and running till the 24th or whenever you're playing. Keep it fresh, keep it new, turn the new page, and that's the key thing. As I'm walking home, there's quite a lot of people walking home at this amount of time. Quite a lot of them are performers, and sometimes I overhear conversations too where people are debriefing their day, and people tend to be overcritical about what's not worked, but also note down about what has worked, how your show's improved. You might have shaved a couple of minutes off it and it's a bit tighter. You might have arrived with a show that's too close to an hour and it's affecting your get-in. Start again. If you can, re-rehearse. Just to keep everything fresh and keep everything new and alive, and have that mindset of we're starting tomorrow. I'm sitting here quite in the dark down in Abbey Hill, but I want to wish you well as we head towards week 2. We're going to step free of the Oasis gig, and no one quite knows what that will do, but there's a lot of predictions I'm hearing from people that have been coming a long time that expect it to be a really busy final week and numbers to go up rather than down now. But don't just arrive assuming that because you sent press releases out 2 weeks ago that you shouldn't treat this now as if it was a 2-week Fringe about to start in a couple of days' time. And I think that's good gritty wisdom on the ground, that what happens at the Fringe is memory is very short. What's up ahead, people are really interested in. And whether you're arriving for the second week for the first time or you've been here for a while, it's all about, and I keep saying it, kind of original thinking about renewal and the idea that you're starting tomorrow.